Hi. Our special guest today is Kristin Pierce, celebrated author and holistic practitioner and teacher. She's also a 2020 CBC Future 40 winner for her books, and she likes to travel around inspiring people about how to be their best and to follow their passions. And Kristin's here today with us, and she's going to do exactly that. She's going to share with us her story about being an author and also being a business person. Hi, Kristin.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for agreeing to do this. It was amazing. I just happened to find you on the website and I thought I got it. Your story seems so good. It just fits so perfect for what we're doing here. So I thank you for agreeing to do that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. So I was going to ask you the first question. When did you know that you really wanted to write?
Oh man, I actually am more of a science person, so the writing thing was a bit of a surprise for me. But yeah, when my son was about 6 months old, I wrote this little rhyming book for him. My sister-in-law had done one, and I was like, oh, that's such a cool keepsake idea. So that's kind of where I just started and tried, and yeah, haven't really stopped since then. So kind of took off, and I just kind of kept rolling with it.
Awesome. And you've done what, five books now?
Yeah, I have 5 children's books, and I also wrote my personal memoir. So yeah, and that's been in the last 3 years. Like my first book came out 3 years ago, so it's kind of been a fast and furious.
Yeah, you ever get writer's block? Like, what do you want to write about next? Do you know when you do a book?
Yeah, writer's block definitely happens. That's been an adventure just to learn, what things help me get unstuck in that way, get my creativity moving again. And so, yeah, it's definitely been like a learning how to balance all of that. But it's kind of been a fun part of it as well, just learning how to get creativity moving. And that's I do speak to schools quite often and teach them how to write their own books. So that's one of the really fun things. I'm like, Kate, we got to get our creativity moving. Let's try some, I call them mind openers, and just different techniques to get our minds moving in a creative way, which is really fun.
So when you're having a trouble thinking of what to write about, or the next sentence, we just take another sip of coffee or something, or something with a bit of a kick, or what?
Well, I can share some of those if you want. There's a whole bunch of things. Sometimes I really need to get up and move my body, just have a brain break and actually move my body. Right. Sometimes I need to change my surroundings. So sometimes, because I do work from home, sometimes I will go hit up a coffee shop or go try. Even just walking through a bookstore or a library can sometimes just get things shifted. If I'm getting too stuck in my logical mind, that really blocks creativity a lot. Another thing that I really love is actually doing aerial yoga. So hanging upside down can be really great for, getting new circulation through the brain, and that always opens up my creativity. So I tell kids that in schools. It's like, you know what, when you're playing outside at recess, on the monkey bars, it's a great way to get your creativity moving.
Absolutely. Right on.
Yeah.
And how long does that normally last when you're getting your writer's block? Just a half an hour, a day, or?
Oh, it really depends. Sometimes it's not a big deal at all, and it's just like, okay, I just need a break and need to shift gears. Other times it can be like, okay, this block is not going away, so I'm gonna actually shift gears and work on something that's more logical based or more, business. Like, okay, guess it's time to do marketing because that's just what my head's in. So sometimes I do have to follow just my flow and how I'm feeling in that day, which as an entrepreneur, there's plenty of logical things that I need to take care of in my business. So sometimes if the creative stuff isn't working, it's like, all right, that's what I'm working on today. Or when I am really in a creative zone, then I ride the tide until I run out of brain power. Just kind of, yeah.
Fair enough. You kind of have to just kind of go till the gas is gone, and then that's it.
Exactly.
Then just restock and recharge.
Yeah, for sure.
How old were you when you started writing? I missed that.
Actually, yeah. So my son is just about 5. And honestly, I didn't start writing until I think I was 29 or 30. I guess I should clarify that for a kid's book, like rhyming type way. I've been an entrepreneur since about 2010. So I've always written blog posts and email marketing and that kind of stuff, or even like my website copy. which technically is writing, but I never thought of myself in that like as a writer until I started doing some more of the children's book type things.
So you consider yourself more of an entrepreneur with the holistic practice, or with the writing, or both?
Absolutely both. I feel like if I wouldn't have been an entrepreneur prior to the whole books thing, it definitely would have been more of a learning curve for me. But because I am already fairly well versed in marketing and in, just connecting with people, because now I'm managing way more things than I was before I started with books. So there's just lots to juggle, but I've gotten really good at managing those tasks and building websites and like just wearing all the hats, really.
Right.
And yeah, so having that knowledge beforehand was really helpful. I didn't have to learn all the marketing because I was already doing that. Just had to apply it in a different way.
I guess it beats having a real job, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I love being an entrepreneur, and I'm always looking forward to, starting work on Monday morning. Like
right.
I love it.
Yeah, your time is your own, and you can do with it however you want to do with it. You're not having to dread going into the office on a Monday morning.
Yeah, no, I always look forward to Mondays.
And I believe the last time I did talk to you on the phone, you were saying your dad or your mom or somebody had their own business.
Yeah. My parents were entrepreneurs. They owned a business. Actually, my grandpa started it, and then my parents and aunt and uncle were also involved. So my family has been entrepreneurs since, I got to watch all of that growing up. And sometimes I was even going and helping my mom in the office doing books and that kind of thing. So bookkeeping, I should clarify. And so I knew that you do have to wear hats when you're an entrepreneur, and, sometimes, you need to go clear the snow and you need to do this and that, or when problems arise, you need to deal with it, even if it's outside of office hours and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What kind of drives you to do what you do for both businesses?
I feel like, they're kind of all encompassing. Like the themes are very similar between them. I have different audiences. But my main thing that drives me is inspiring people to be the best that they can and to pursue their passions and believe in, think outside the box and believe in their big dreams. So many times we let our own thoughts or limiting beliefs stop us from going after the things that we're really excited about. And so, that's one of my big things, is just inspiring people to question some of that narrative and, really go for what keeps them excited inside.
And that's the thing, when you find out what you really like to do, you should go for it with everything you've got.
Absolutely.
You just never know where it's going to take you next.
Right, exactly. And I've been doing this since 2010 is really when I started entrepreneurship. But the books came out of nowhere, really. Like I never was like, oh, I really want to be an author. That was never something that even crossed my mind until it was like, I wrote this and maybe I should do something with it. But now I love it. And so it's been really neat just to get to follow those things. And I find as an entrepreneur, I do get to do the things that I enjoy and that really light me up. So, and then I can kind of grow, my business grows as I grow.
Do you feel you have any weaknesses that you need to work on yet? Or you're still
there's always
a loaded question. I'm sorry.
One of the things too, I feel like when you're running your own business, there's so much to learn all the time. Yes. Like we're never really done growing. So I don't love bookkeeping. Like that's probably my big thing. It's definitely one of my weaknesses, and like shove my receipts in a drawer and like take them to my bookkeeper. So I know it's not that I can't do it. I don't like it. So I put it off. That's one of the things that I'm like, you know what, I need to hire someone to do this, because if I leave it for myself, it's not going to happen very often. It eventually will get done, like down to the wire. But and then I feel like there's always something to learn. So I do take a lot of courses, online courses, in-person courses. I have business mentors. I've had lots over the years. maybe I don't look at weaknesses as like a permanent thing, but like just some areas to grow in or some areas to delegate.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, obviously everybody has those. I definitely do.
Well, we don't always like to admit it, but you're right.
Yeah.
Do you still work with a mentor now on business?
Right now, I haven't been, mostly from just a COVID perspective. I do like kind of the more in-person type mentorship. So I haven't been as much lately, but I usually always have some kind of mentor, or I'm taking a group kind of development course or leadership course, or just depending kind of where I'm moving at the moment in business.
Gotcha. Do you, when you're speaking to the students in the schools, is there a question or two that you always seem to hear a lot of, or the same one in a lot of the schools?
I'm usually speaking to quite young kids, so I will get questions kind of sometimes that are left field. Sometimes they're just like, oh my gosh, like, they want to ask questions because they're meeting an author, but I don't know if there's any quite I mean, I've had them ask like questions about how old I am, or if I like sushi, or what my dog's name is, and like, so yeah, it's pretty random, I find.
Kinda cool.
But it's really fun.
Well, yeah. Listen, they're going to ask questions that, like you say, you have no idea where it's come from. That's true.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So now that you've been writing for so long and doing your holistic practice, do you have goals that you set for yourself every day too? Like, do you like to write so much per day, or whatever you like to do?
I definitely have goals. I usually do that on like a sometimes annual or semi-annual basis, where I just have like kind of big all-encompassing, I block off a couple days and really kind of dive in. And then, I try to break things down like monthly. Okay, this is what I'm doing. From a daily like writing perspective, I don't so much have like word count goals, because I find I actually, what works best for me, and as an entrepreneur, I think you have to find what works best for you. I chunk my days out. So like Monday's my business day, Friday's my writing day, and then I book events on Wednesdays, and Thursdays I have clients and that sort of thing. So the daily writing thing wouldn't really apply, because I don't necessarily, I mean, sometimes I'm journaling and that, but like productive writing.
But it sounds like you're still on the right path though, which is good.
Yeah.
You're keeping yourself focused on what you need to do.
Right. Yeah.
And that's sometimes hard, because you can sometimes be kind of scatterbrained, thinking you've got 18 different things to do, but you got to do them all right now.
Right. Yes. I definitely have like a big planner and a scheduler and try to plan out my week, but just for how my brain works, because I am doing creative things sometimes, but other times I need to be more in my logical marketing mind. And I find I can't do both at the same time. I need to do one or the other. And so that's how it works best for me to block certain days. I'm like, okay, here I'm in my marketing mind. These are all the tasks I need to do this day. And this is like my writing days are much more free flowing. So I don't try to set specific goals for myself, because sometimes that creates a limit in my mind for me.
It's okay, as long as you're doing what works best for you, because that maybe won't work best for somebody else.
Right. Yeah. And I find that's just an important part of creativity or entrepreneurship, right? Finding what keeps you in your zone or helps you be productive and efficient.
Right. So what did someone actually give you a break, do you think, when you started, or how did this all come about? I mean, were publishing and everything, and now you're doing a holistic business. Did someone just say, hey, why don't you try this?
For the books specifically?
For both.
So for my holistic business, I started working as a contractor, just in a few different clinics. So that's really how I just learned how they were doing some marketing, client retention, even just communication with clients, and really got some experience that way. And then I knew that eventually, with having kids, I was going to want to have my business in my home so that I could be flexible, because obviously there's lots of things you need to accommodate for. And so I started that. I didn't really have a whole lot of expenses to get started that way, because I kind of been accumulating some of the equipment I needed over working in other clinics.
Yep.
And so I didn't have a whole lot of startup costs. And then when everything came for when I wanted to start self-publishing, from the financial perspective, I was just investing revenue from my holistic business to start that up.
So given where you are today, do you consider yourself successful?
Oh, I'm always like, I hate that question. I find I'm always my own biggest critic, and that's just how I've always been. So I'm a big dreamer too. So I always see what else I could be doing, or where I could be growing, or where I want to go next.
Yep.
So it's like, are you successful now? It's like, well, probably, I guess. Like, I mean, my businesses are profitable. I get to do what I love every day. I get to make my own work schedule. I get to work on projects that I love. I get to work with people and help them open their minds and have an impact on kids and connect with them and inspire creativity. Like just this morning, actually, I did an event at the Wonder Hub where I read one of my books, and we got to be really creative with the kids, and it was
That's where the future is.
Yeah, so it's just like, from that perspective, absolutely, I'd say it's successful because I love what I do and I feel fulfilled. And then the other perk is that, yeah, my businesses are profitable and they support me. So, I mean, I think that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we all have different levels of success, and that's okay too. You know, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing, then that's all you need to know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, and the other thing with entrepreneurship is I like that I get to reap the benefits of what I sow. And I mean, there are no income ceilings, right? Like the work that you put in, you get to benefit from that. So.
And who knows, maybe somewhere down the road, someone that you talked with or spoke with or helped out, they could be going on to bigger and better things just because of something you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of a cool feeling too when you think about it. That you had that much of an impact on somebody.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I actually do author mentoring sessions as well. And so I do know some people who we've worked together for author mentoring who've gone on to publish books, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but our time is up. Rats. But I really appreciate the time you took today, Chris. So that was great. And I'm sure everybody that's going to be listening to this is going to take something great out of that and help them to maybe burst out of their shell and do great things, which is the idea.
Right. So, absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Stay warm out there.
Yes, I will. You too.
All right. Thank you.